I have come back in time to reveal the events of the future!
What if a cartoon could predict the future? The Simpsons have made some shocking predictions over the years, many of which have come true.
And so the producers have assembled the top supposed predictions made by The Simpsons.
From technology to politics, they've hinted at things long before they happened. But what about 2025? Could they have already shown us what's coming next? Some of these predictions are almost too real to ignore. Which of them are already fulfilled? Coincidence or something more? In this video, we will look into the Simpsons predictions for 2025 that will blow your mind. Flying cars. Ever been stuck in traffic and wished your car could just fly over it? Well, the Simpsons might have seen that coming. Back in a 1992 episode called Itchy and Scratchy Land, the show jumped 40 years into the future. In the scene, an older Bart and Homer are walking down the street when a Star Trek-style hover car casually passes by, as if flying cars are completely normal. Then, in 2005, Professor Frink invented a machine that let Bart and Lisa see into their future. By 2013, Homer had blown all their savings on an underwater house and spent the rest on a hover car, one that was still just a rough prototype. Now, here's where it gets interesting. A company called Samsung Sky is actually working on real hover cars and could be launching them soon. Could 2025 be the year we finally beat traffic for good? If The Simpsons is right again, the future of transportation might be closer than we think. But there are still more chilling predictions from The Simpsons for 2025. Curious? Stay tuned. What you're about to hear will blow your mind. Large-scale environmental disaster. Imagine waking up one day and finding your entire town sealed off from the world. That's exactly what happens in the Simpsons movie, 2007. It all starts when Homer dumps pig waste into an already polluted lake, making things so bad that the government traps Springfield inside a giant bubble. Now, the bubble part? That's just cartoon logic. But the idea of an environmental disaster? That's a real possibility. The world is already dealing with pollution, climate change, and corporations dumping waste without a second thought. If things keep going this way, we could face disasters bigger than anything we've seen before. Big companies are cutting corners, pollution is getting worse, and the planet is suffering from it. We hear about global warming all the time, but are we actually doing anything to stop it? The Simpsons might have exaggerated the solution, but the problem they showed is something we can't afford to ignore. With global warming at an all-time high, 2025 may just be the year. Moving to Mars. Mars has been a hot topic for years, and many people have already applied to be part of future colonies on the Red Planet. While this hasn't happened yet, The Simpsons imagined a world where Lisa and Marge travel to Mars to help build a human settlement. In the episode, Lisa signs up for a one-way trip, and to stop her, the whole family joins in. The plan is to colonize Mars before 2026, but things don't go as expected. Eventually, Lisa and Marge make it to Mars in 2051, only for Lisa to decide she wants to move to Venus instead. While that part might be a stretch, the idea of humans living on Mars isn't far-fetched. SpaceX and other companies are already working on making it a reality, and with Elon Musk pushing for it, who knows? Maybe 2025 will bring us one step closer to calling Mars home. It sounds crazy now, but so did flying planes once. World War against China. In a 2000 episode called Bart to the Future, Lisa Simpson becomes President of the United States.
And I promise you that as your president, I will obsess over your welfare, because I don't have a life!
She takes office after Donald Trump and inherits a massive financial crisis, with the country drowning in debt, including to China. While the episode doesn't show a war, it does hint at serious economic trouble that could lead to major consequences. Since Trump is already in office, this prediction hits close to home. If economic tensions between the US and China keep rising, could 2025 be the year things take a dangerous turn? A financial crisis could easily spiral into something bigger, especially with global conflicts already on the rise. Is this just another wild coincidence, Or did The Simpsons predict something we should take seriously? Could this be a warning about what's to come? Either way, this is one prediction that's hard to ignore. Music-induced mind control. This one is downright creepy. In a 2001 episode called New Kids on the Block, Bart, Milhouse, Nelson, and Ralph join a boy band called Party Posse. But here's the twist. The whole thing is secretly a psyop scheme by the US Navy to recruit kids through subliminal messaging. Their hit song even contains a hidden message telling listeners to join the Navy, only written backward. While this sounds like pure fiction, some believe it's not too far from reality. Over the years, people have speculated that music, especially hip-hop, is being used to influence and even brainwash listeners. Many argue that elites have long used secular music to control the masses, pushing certain ideas without people realizing it. Whether that's true or not, the idea that music can shape thoughts and behavior isn't new. With how catchy tunes get stuck in our heads, who's to say subliminal messages aren't being slipped in? If The Simpsons were onto something, maybe we should pay closer attention to what we're listening to. The rise of holograms. In another look into the future, The Simpsons showed Bart receiving a hologram message booking his band for a club gig. In the episode Bart to the Future, he gets a glimpse of his life years later, and while it's not the most glamorous, it does feature a mailman delivering a virtual letter in the form of a hologram. Instead of a regular goodbye, the message ends with "smell you later," hinting at how language might evolve alongside technology. Today, HD3 holograms are already in use, with over 500 Best Buy stores installing them to enhance customer experiences. With technology advancing so quickly, holographic communication might soon be a part of everyday life, changing how we send messages, hold meetings, or even perform concerts. The idea of talking to a hologram instead of texting or calling might have seemed crazy years ago, but now it's closer than ever. Could this be the future of communication? It's only a matter of time. Virtual reality overload. The future of technology is exciting, but could it also be dangerous? In a 2016 episode called Friends and Family, set in 2030, The Simpsons explored a world where people become completely obsessed with virtual reality. Homer and Marge use VR glasses and feeding tubes to experience virtual food, but it's far from satisfying. Fast forward to today, and companies like Aero Banquets RMX are already developing VR dining experiences, while Royal Caribbean is working on ways to transport cruise guests to different settings with every bite of food. But as virtual reality gets more advanced, the risks become more real. People are already walking into traffic with their headsets on, completely unaware of their surroundings. If this trend continues, could we reach a point where people are more connected to the fake world than the real one? Well, the next one is just about as chilling. Solar-powered cars. In Paths to Glory, Lisa builds a solar-powered car for an alternative energy race. But just as she's about to win, a Duff Beer blimp blocks out the sun, stopping her vehicle in its tracks. The crowd laughs at her failure, but there's a deeper message here. The scene highlights how big corporations have a history of suppressing green energy, putting profits over progress. Even today, despite the rise of solar-powered cars like Tesla and advancements in renewable energy, powerful industries continue to resist the full adoption of sustainable solutions. Oil and gas companies still dominate, and clean energy innovations often face setbacks due to corporate influence. While the world is moving towards greener alternatives, the fight for widespread renewable energy is far from over. Will industries ever fully embrace sustainability, or will corporate interests always stand in the way? 2025 might just be the year of multiple solar cars. AI robots take over. The idea of robots taking over human jobs has been around for years, but The Simpsons seemed to predict it long before it became a real concern. In a 2012 episode, they showed mass automation replacing workers, and in a 1994 episode, the family visited a theme park run by robots until things went horribly wrong. This concept later became a reality with Westworld, a show about a futuristic park with AI-powered robots gaining consciousness. Today, automation is advancing at an incredible pace, with self-checkouts, warehouse robots, and even AI-powered customer service replacing human workers. Experts like Jürgen Schmidhuber believe AI could cause drastic changes to civilization within the next 30 years.
So they're going to predict certain things, and they did a whole breakdown on how Simpsons was able to predict,
making it clear that automation is only just beginning. While robots might not be taking over completely yet, they are already shaping industries, economies, and daily life in ways we never imagined. Could we be heading toward a world where humans are no longer needed for most jobs? The future is coming fast. President Ivanka Trump. Since The Simpsons already predicted Donald Trump as president, it's hard not to wonder if their next political forecast will come true as well. In a 2016 episode, they subtly hinted at Ivanka Trump running for president by showing Homer wearing an Ivanka 2028 campaign button. A year later, they took another jab at her, marking Trump's 100th day in office, with an episode where Ivanka replaced Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the Supreme Court, dressed in a robe and promoting her own jewelry line for 1,000 rubles. With the Trump family's strong influence in politics, it's not impossible to imagine Ivanka making a move for the White House in the future. She has already held a key position in her father's administration, and many speculate that she could follow in his footsteps. Whether this was just another joke or a prediction waiting to unfold, time will tell. The next prediction might be closer to reality than we think. Cloning breakthroughs. For years, scientists have been experimenting with cloning, but The Simpsons may have predicted just how far it could go. In a 1997 episode called The Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie Show, a quick joke shows a secret government cloning lab, hinting at a future where cloning becomes mainstream. Fast forward to today, and cloning technology is advancing faster than ever. Scientists have already cloned animals like sheep, cats, and even monkeys, and there's an ongoing debate about cloning humans. In 2023, researchers successfully cloned a ferret from 30-year-old frozen cells, proving that even extinct or endangered species could be brought back. With all these advancements, could 2025 be the year when human cloning finally happens? The ethical questions are huge, and many governments have strict bans in place. But with private labs pushing boundaries, anything is possible. We might just be seeing the first cloned human in 2025. Digital currency takeover. Cash might be on its way out, and The Simpsons saw it coming. In a 2020 episode called Frinkcoin, the show introduced its version of cryptocurrency, with Professor Frink creating a digital currency that quickly became more valuable than anyone expected. Fast forward to today, and cryptocurrencies are already reshaping the financial world, with central banks even considering digital currencies of their own. Countries like China have rolled out their own government-backed digital yuan, while other nations are exploring similar options. If the trend continues, could 2025 be the year when cash completely disappears? The move to a cashless society is already happening, with businesses refusing paper money and digital payments becoming the norm. But this shift also raises concerns. What happens to privacy, security, and financial control when all transactions are digital? 2025 is the year we will know. Trump presidency and death. One of The Simpsons' most shocking moments predicted not just Donald Trump's presidency, but also a future that still feels too real to ignore. Let's rewind to 2015. In an episode titled Trumptastic Voyage, Homer is floating by a sign that reads, Trump 2024. What's wild? This was years before Trump announced his actual run for the 2024 elections. Could this be a coincidence? Maybe, but the predictions don't stop there. An earlier episode from 2000 takes things even further. Bart travels to the future, where Lisa is now president. Her biggest headache? Dealing with the financial mess left by none other than former President Donald Trump. Sure, it's funny on the surface, but you can't deny how oddly close this feels to reality. Then there's the terrifying rumor that The Simpsons predicted Trump's death. A supposed scene shows his animated version lying in a casket. While this was debunked as a hoax, the image stuck in the public's mind, adding another layer of unease to the show's predictions. But here's the interesting part. Trump isn't the only shocking figure The Simpsons have seen into the future. Their next prediction just might keep you up at night. The robot takeover. Here's a prediction from The Simpsons that might send chills down your spine. Imagine a world where humans are no longer needed for jobs because robots have taken over. Sounds terrifying, right? But in one unforgettable episode, the show gave us a glimpse of exactly this: a fully automated factory run entirely by machines. Back when this aired, it might have been a laughable idea, but as we're already in 2025, it's not only possible, it's happening. Artificial intelligence and robotics have made incredible progress. Companies like Tesla, Amazon, and even McDonald's are already replacing human workers with robots. Machines are flipping burgers, delivering packages, assembling cars, and more. And here's the part that's truly chilling. Experts predict this is only the beginning. By 2025, automation could wipe out a staggering 85 million jobs worldwide. That's right. Millions of people could lose their livelihoods, leaving many to wonder what the future holds. And it's not just factory work that's at risk. Even jobs in healthcare, education, and tech could face disruptions as machines become smarter and more capable.
The pandemic has taken a toll on nurses across the country, and many say they're still feeling the effects. Extreme burnout, exhaustion, and so much stress. Now, one CEO says she has a solution: robots.
It's hard not to feel uneasy about what's coming next. But before we all spiral into despair, there's a silver lining. Those same experts predict that while robots may take away old jobs, they'll also create new ones. In fact, up to 97 million new roles could emerge thanks to automation. These jobs will likely focus on managing, programming, and innovating alongside these advanced technologies. So maybe the rise of the robots isn't the end of the world, but just a new chapter that requires us to adapt. Still, this isn't the scariest prediction The Simpsons have made. Wait until you hear their chilling vision about humanity's survival on Earth. Trust us, you'll want to stick around for this one. Energy crisis. Another bone-chilling prediction for 2025 comes straight from The Simpsons, and it's one we'd all hate to see come true: a global energy crisis. In one episode, Springfield plunges into darkness as a total blackout grips the town, caused by an energy shortage. At first, it might seem like just another gag, but when you think about the state of the world today, this prediction feels uncomfortably close to reality. You'd expect the future to bring better energy solutions with advanced technology, right? Well, according to The Simpsons, the opposite might happen. And here's the thing: there are already signs that they could be onto something. Just look at Texas. In recent years, the state has experienced multiple blackouts, some lasting for days. The demand for energy is rising fast, but the infrastructure to support it? Not so much. Experts warn that this isn't just a local problem. With the growing reliance on renewable energy sources like solar and wind, which can be unpredictable, some analysts fear that power grids won't be able to handle the strain. Combine that with the unpredictable effects of climate change, and it's easy to see why a widespread energy crisis might be on the horizon. So did The Simpsons somehow get a sneak peek into our future? Are they warning us about a looming disaster we're not prepared for? Or is this just another uncanny coincidence? The idea that entire cities, or even countries, could face extended blackouts is terrifying, especially if it's a glimpse of what's to come in 2025. But energy isn't the only area where the show's predictions get dark. What if we told you The Simpsons also hinted at a natural disaster so massive it could change life on Earth forever? Buckle up for this next one: the prediction of natural disasters. This prediction from The Simpsons is one of the scariest yet. Over the years, the show has depicted natural disasters with alarming intensity. One unforgettable example comes from the episode Hurricane Nettie, where Springfield is turned upside down by a devastating hurricane. The chaos is palpable as the storm tears through the town, leaving Flanders' home in ruins. While the episode has its share of comedic moments, Many viewers now believe it holds a deeper warning about our planet's future. There's an even more frightening part. Experts say these predictions aren't far off. They've warned that 2025 could bring a wave of extreme natural disasters, including hurricanes, wildfires, droughts, and even severe earthquakes. The effects won't just be limited to isolated areas. They could hit major cities and residential communities, reshaping life as we know it. Take recent events, for instance.
It continues
this is a very strong
to rattle
earthquake.
pretty strong here.
8:21 here on the air. We're experiencing very strong shaking. Wow. I think we need to get under the desk.
Hurricanes are getting stronger, wildfires are burning longer, and droughts are leaving entire regions desperate for water. If this is just the beginning, the idea of an even more chaotic future is hard to ignore. Scientists suggest that climate change is fueling these extreme events, making the predictions in The Simpsons feel eerily plausible. What makes this even more chilling is the possibility that these disasters could become the norm, not the exception. It's as if the show's creators had a crystal ball and were trying to tell us to prepare for a world where nature's fury becomes a constant threat. So were The Simpsons just creating entertaining storylines? Or did they tap into something we're only starting to realize? Either way, this is one prediction that forces us to think twice about what's coming. But there's more. What if the next prediction takes us beyond Earth altogether? Stick around for the mind-blowing possibilities. Colonization of Mars. In The Simpsons episode titled The Marge Ian Chronicles, aired on March 13, 2016, the family dives into yet another wild concept, colonizing Mars. In this episode, Lisa volunteers to leave Earth and help set up a human colony on the Red Planet. At the time, this might have sounded like pure science fiction, but now, it's starting to look a lot like reality. Think about it. Back when the episode aired, the idea of ordinary people living on Mars seemed far-fetched. Fast forward to today, and Elon Musk's SpaceX is turning that dream into an ambitious goal.
Elon Musk's latest rocket launch didn't disappoint, but not for the reasons you might think.
Musk has poured billions into space exploration and has developed reusable rockets and life support technology, all aimed at making Mars a second home for humanity. Plans are already underway to send humans to Mars in the near future, and discussions about how we'd actually survive on the planet are growing louder. It's almost mysterious how accurately The Simpsons seem to predict these things. What's even more fascinating is the timing. Could it be coincidence? Or did they somehow see a future where Mars colonization wasn't just a pipe dream, but a serious mission? Whether it's imagining new opportunities for humankind or sparking conversations about the survival of our species, The Simpsons are undeniably ahead of their time. Lisa's decision to leave Earth might seem bold, but it's starting to feel less like fiction and more like a glimpse into what could happen in our lifetime. And speaking of daring visions for the future, The Simpsons have even more interesting predictions to uncover. Translation tech. It's mind-blowing how far ahead of their time The Simpsons seem to be. One standout episode shows Homer traveling to Japan. Although he doesn't speak a word of Japanese, there's something extraordinary that helps him get by. Advanced technology designed to overcome language barriers. At first glance, it's just another quirky moment in the cartoon. But looking closer, it feels more like a prediction of the future, possibly even 2025. Think about it. We're already seeing signs of this prediction coming true. Today, we have gadgets like Google Translate and earbuds like Pixel Buds that can instantly translate conversations. It's almost like something out of science fiction, but it's real, and it's here. The Simpsons may have been showing us the future, and it looks like they were spot on. Experts believe that by 2025, communication technology will take an even bigger leap. Imagine devices so advanced that the concept of a language barrier no longer exists. You could travel anywhere in the world, speak to anyone, and understand everything without learning a single word of their language. It's not just a convenience, it's a game changer. A world with no language barriers could bring people closer together, make businesses more efficient, and create endless possibilities for global connections. So was this another uncanny prediction from The Simpsons? Or is it just a coincidence that technology is aligning with their animated visions? Either way, it's fascinating to see how close we're getting to this futuristic world, But this isn't the only incredible glimpse of 2025 the show gave us. Next, we'll dive into a Simpsons prediction that could change life as we know it. End of physical money. In the 1995 Simpsons episode titled Lisa's Wedding, we're taken on a journey into the future, and let's just say it's full of surprises. Lisa travels forward in time to discover a world where everything is digital, but one thing that really stood out? Physical money was completely gone. Yep, no coins jangling in pockets or crisp bills tucked in wallets, just digital cash and payment systems. Now, back in 1995, this idea might have sounded far-fetched, but fast forward to today, and it's clear the world is moving in that direction. Think about it. How often do you see people using cash these days?
Contactless cards, or tap-to-pay, as we call them, are cards that communicate with a point-of-sale terminal using wireless technology.
Digital payments are everywhere, from online transactions to tapping your card or phone at the store, and let's not forget the rise of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Crypto wallets are becoming mainstream, and some businesses are even ditching physical cash entirely. Experts believe this shift could become even more pronounced by 2025. With technology advancing at lightning speed, we're looking at a future where physical money might actually disappear. The Simpsons might have been onto something big here, but how did they predict this nearly 30 years ago? Was it just a lucky guess, or did someone have insider knowledge about the future? Either way, the thought of a fully digital economy is both exciting and a little intimidating. Sure, it's convenient, but it also raises questions about privacy, accessibility, and what happens to those who aren't tech-savvy. So did The Simpsons get it right again? It seems like we'll find out soon enough. Tragic submarine accident. A prediction that left a bitter taste in the mouths of everyone after it came to pass was the tragic Russian submarine accident. In an episode aired in 1994 titled Marge Gets a Job, the cartoon shows Homer working at a nuclear power plant as a safety inspector. In this episode, one of the scenes reveals the implosion of a faulty submarine because of a design flaw. The morbid thing about this scene was that all the crew were trapped in the metal coffin and died as a result of the implosion. Fiction became fact on August 12, 2000, when the K-141 Kursk submarine sank in an accident in the Barents Sea.
The K-141 Kursk nuclear submarine was sunk in an accident in the Barents Sea in 2000, killing all 118 crew members?
The entire 118 crew members died as a result of the faulty torpedo that caused the submarine to sink. According to reports, nearby ships felt a first explosion, followed by a larger one. This accident is more tragic because although ships nearby felt an explosion, the Russian Navy was unaware that such an accident had occurred. As a result, there was no search and rescue operation until after 6 hours. When the submarine was located 16 hours after the rescue operation commenced, it was already 354 feet deep, lying on the ocean floor. The crew members could not escape themselves because there was no rescue buoy, as they disabled them intentionally when they carried out a previous mission. The Russian Navy tried and failed to gain access to the submarine for 5 days. 2 days after President Putin gave the go-ahead for the nation's Navy to accept external help, divers from Britain and Norway could gain access to the submarine's 9th compartment. However, it was already late for the crew. Edward Snowden's revelations. Did you know that The Simpsons knew and predicted that the NSA's highly classified information would be leaked? The National Security Agency would have probably laughed it off when the episode Tripping on Nuts aired, where a scene revealed that a character known as NSA Guy stole highly sensitive and classified information from the NSA and ran off to Cuba. We only considered this possible when Edward Snowden did the exact thing in June 2013. Snowden, who was an NSA contractor, decided to leak top-secret documents that revealed the NSA's global surveillance program.
Edward Snowden, he's an American former CIA employee and computer technician. Today he came out as the leaker of classified NSA documents that spell out a secret surveillance program.
According to him, he did this because he became disillusioned with the government's programs. Snowden admitted that he voiced his ethical concerns about the program using internal channels. Still, the influential people refused to listen to him, so he took this approach. After this shocking revelation, Snowden sought asylum in Russia, not Cuba, where he now lives. He has Russian citizenship, which President Vladimir Putin granted in September 2022. Did Snowden get inspired by The Simpsons? Or did he act alone? This is an answer we might never know, but we do know that The Simpsons predicted video calls and smartwatches. Is The Simpsons just incredibly lucky with these predictions? Or do they know something we don't? What's your take on it? Let us know in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Also, click the next video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.